2 days in a row, and I'm still not out in the garden. It's what is it, 3:30 in the morning, something like that. Haven't been sleeping, and so I've been, or like during this period where I'm not really sleeping all that well. I'm um, watching a lot of Greg Braden, which is awesome. I enjoy that a lot. I enjoy his presentation, and it's very thorough. I enjoy that. Um, and it started with a Greg Braden. I can't remember if it was Greg Braden's channel or if it was the Universe Inside You or something. It was one of the channels stemming from Gaia. But they were talking about DNA and how and it's very similar to like Masaru Emoto, the water experiments. How our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, our spiritual condition, um, what we're sensing and feeling, how um, and like something as seemingly simple as speaking to a plant and um, nurturing a plant with our voice. I love you, you're beautiful. Um, you know, um, Ascribing certain words to our plants to thrive and grow and be abundant. Things of that nature. And now, if we can do that, proven, um, as he's shown with water experience, Masaru Emoto, Greg Braden was talking about DNA, and it led me not only from Greg Braden and Gaia type stuff, but I probably, I don't know, man. There was a lot of information, a lot, and this is all documented, scientific, proved stuff. This isn't somebody just pulling something out of the air and but when you talk about your DNA, when we talk about our DNA, there was the one particular segment, and I can't remember if it was Greg Braden or something else I had seen, um, and it was this particular experiment. It was listed in the Journal of Science and Nature, I believe it was. This study, this article was listed in the Journal of Science and Nature, or Nature and Science, something along those lines, where the experiment dealt with people experiencing uh, positive things that we would consider positive: loving, compassion, empathy, joy, etc. And they viewed the DNA. They would take blood samples or whatever, and they would go under a very powerful microscope and see how the thoughts, feelings, emotions, sensations were affecting the person. And the people there, and again, here we go. There was two types, or the opposites, or the polarities, were someone who was happy, uh, feeling compassion, empathy, joy, these positively oriented emotions. Their DNA, and if you're familiar with DNA, it's a double helix. I think we're pretty familiar with how the spiral of DNA, and the DNA spiral would open. It would blossom like a flower, um, for the person who was happy, joyful, compassionate, empathetic in those moments. And the DNA unraveled and blossomed like a flower. It was very interesting, and they were showing they had uh, what do you call it? Examples. Anyway, just the way that it worked. Now, on the opposite polarity of that, the folks that they tested who were filled with fear, anger, hate, resentment, all, like things that we would, again, we would perceive opposite polarity of love and compassion, fear, hate, anger, resentment. The bundle of the DNA became tightly bound upon itself. It tied into like almost like a knot. Um, so it's very interesting, and the the way the way they would introduce new stimulus to both polarities, the people who were experiencing positive emotions, feelings, and sensations, and to the folks who were feeling negative or dense or hate, fear, anger, and resentment. And they would introduce stimulus to them, and the people who were in the fear-based mindset, the hate, the anger, the coil of their DNA actually became tighter. It became tighter. They could not receive new stimulus. And the people on the other side, where the DNA had expanded, and I'm using the word blossomed. It's not the word that they used in the share in that example, but as the DNA of the person who was feeling love and compassion and empathy, as they received stimulus, it actually caused the DNA to unspiral even more and open up and receive the new stimulus. So it was just a very elaborate experiment, very expensive experiment to see something very basic as love and fear. When we're in a feeling or a sense of loving compassion and empathy, we're expanding. We're expanding, and we're expanding ourselves on a microscopic physical level. We're expanding. And in turn, when we are in a place of fear, doubt, insecurity, anger, and hate, we are shut down. We are shut down, and there's nothing new coming in. Which is, it's you you're stunted. You're stunted. Stunted from growth. Found that I just simply found I would, again, I'm not a tech person, like, so to like include all these things, like to put it in the the description, adding links, and I'm awful at that stuff. But I found that, and I've been feeling kind of like discouraged lately, and like the idea, like just deleting my channel and getting off of Facebook completely and just being anonymous again. And I can see that that's a place of fear, doubt, insecurity, self-doubt, and that's a constricted um, view of myself and the world, the world that in at the end of the day, it's the world I'm choosing to perceive the world in that way, where I want to just shut down. I want, I've had enough, and that's not expansive. I'm not welcoming in anything new. Um, so yesterday and today, I'm sharing and hopefully opening up my DNA with feelings of love and compassion and generosity of spirit as far as sharing sharing this information that I witnessed. And again, it was this is scientifically proven stuff. This is, the Journal of Science and Nature. There was a huge article on it. Um, but we can shift that. It's difficult. It's challenging once you're locked into that tightly wound DNA. Um, but I also remember something from my days in recovery from addiction. Change a thought, move a muscle. Do something, even if it's wrong. Um, our intention in that way can um, alter our perception. You know, and so today I'm gonna go to work. I'm gonna jump in the shower and whatever the day brings. Um, and I'm gonna focus on that, on myself in a microscopic way, and I'm gonna envision my DNA opening and blossoming, from a place of love and compassion, and receiving new and inspired, benevolent, kind, generous, potato. Um, I'll just focus on that. I'll do the best I can. But with that, I would have to imagine for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So if I go to work or I go out and do my day, and whatever, there's probably going to be resistance to that. Can almost guarantee it. But I'm going to hold my head high. I'm going to walk through it, keep a cool head and a full and open heart, and wish you a peace that surpasses your own understanding. And one of these days, it's supposed to rain again today. My God, I'm starting to wilt. Anyway, peace that surpasses all understanding. Have a wonderful day. And if you're not having a wonderful day, hold space for you. Love you. Peace.